decide what you should do. And it's not true. They do. There are guidelines to those kind of things too. And I would like to read this Ramah and the Mishnah Berurah because I believe it's very important, and as we will see in the next sif, the next siman, how important this idea is. So here in the last siman, it spoke about that the Chazal were given the right to be mekel as they saw fit. Says the Mishnah Berurah, "Makom shenagu hamon am lahokel afilu b'davar she'ein ha'ovad." People started to be mekel even in something which was not halachically permissible to be mekel. Uba chacham v'asa lahem lemigdar milsa, and the Rav came and he said, "You're not allowed to do it, even though al pi halacha you're allowed to do it, because you have to put your finger in the dam, the hole in the dam, in order to make sure that it stops." Afilu b'davar ovid, even though it's a davar ovid, people are going to lose out. Ein l'chacham acher lahatir lohem. A different chacham can't come and say that it's not a problem. No, it is a problem, and you have to stay as it is. Now, Isa b'Yishalmi, Amar Reb Abba bar Mamul, Ilu haya misha yimna imi v'tarti sh'yasa malacha b'chol hamoed. I would have allowed people to do malacha on Chol Hamoed. V'hainu mekech hamemkri kai gav the davar she'enu malacha gemura. Business is not a malacha gemura. Klum also lasas malacha, ela kadei she'yu oichlim v'shoisim b'giyam b'Torah. The whole reason why, the concept behind Chol Hamoed was not to go to amusement parks. I don't understand where Chazal had such ideas from. But the reason why there's an Isser Malacha is Kedei Shiyu Oichlin V'Shoisim V'Yagem B'Torah. V'Achshov, and what happens nowadays, L'Maisa, Oichlin V'Shoichim V'Pochazim. They do silly things. So what has happened is we've abused the privilege, and we've taken it to places where that's what it wasn't meant for. Akal L'Shoinu, because of our call boy, V'Nir Mizeh, if someone would want to say, so what should I do? I have a choice. I could either go and have a good time on Chol Hamoed, or I should go to work. What does it say? It says go to work. Right? It doesn't really say that, but it's the Isser, theoretically the Isser is worse. In other words, we have an abuse of the system. Shekavanas Hashem Yisborach b'nesinas hamoyed hayekadei lihidavek b'irasai v'avasai v'la'asai b'teirasai hatmima. Now I'm going to share a question that I was asked once by a seminary girl, and this is a very moving question. I had to tell her that I want to think about it before I answer her. She said to me, I'm here in seminary, I don't have any family. What am I supposed to be doing on Chol Hamoed? How am I supposed to spend my... What does Hashem want from me? Yehuda, you have an answer? You think she should be learning Chumash? Ramban? What should this girl be doing?
Should be spending time with her family.
Which family? Her family is in
family. Find a family to spend time with.
Adopt a family.
Adopt a family.
Okay, that's. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why should she do that?
So that she can be doing lefachot.
I want to tell you something. Listen carefully. I'm not saying you're wrong, but it didn't mention anything in what we read over here today about family time.
That's why you eat. You can't enjoy eating by yourself. You have to enjoy eating with other people.
Okay. All right.
She's in Israel. She can go mitayel to kivrei avos, to kivrei tzadikim. Many things she can do that are beneficial and still somewhat fun.
I agree with that answer, but it doesn't answer the question. I didn't ask what she could do.
No,
I want to know, what should she do? How will I be able to define post Chol Hamoed that I had a successful Chol Hamoed?
Recharge your spiritual batteries.
Okay, so she should say Tillim for 40 days over Chol Hamoed. That would be a great idea, right? Oh, I forgot. I didn't have my computer with me to figure that out. And this was a question that she asked me, and I believe the question. And again, you're answering the things that you could do. They're fine. They could be done.
So you're talking about
What?
Conceptually, what should she
Yeah,
be doing?
yeah.
Or not practically, what should she be
It will be practical also. In other words, you have to know what is the concept that she is supposed to be
growing spiritually.
growing spiritually. I would like to say that I disagree.
Okay.
No, I believe that's true, but I don't think that that's correct. What is the point of oichlim v'shoisim? What kind of? I mean, this is like a glutton's world. Well, I didn't hear. Somebody said something. B'simcha. Okay, I believe that's the key. That's the key. But whoever said that, you have to what? Gerelnik. Okay. Yeah. What does that mean? Why is simcha so important? Okay. Okay, this is true, but no, I believe that what he's saying is true. That the Rambam in many places discusses simcha on the moed, and the purpose is that a person should feel wholesome in his avodas Hashem. B'simcha is avodas Hashem, and there's a special place in your avodah to be b'simcha. So to grow spiritually, there are many ways to grow spiritually, right? But are they gonna give you simcha? They're not gonna give you simcha. So the halacha is a person is obligated in the moed to be mesameach his family. Why? We want you to connect in a positive way with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you're going to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in a positive way, so then your kesher to HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be all that much greater. So, and I just say the famous answer to the question on the Teres Kohanim from Baron Kotler, he asks the ultimate Jewish question. The Medrash says that the Kadosh Baruch Hu says after Sukkot, Kosher Lai Predaschem. So stay another day. We'll make a mitzvah, a Suda Ketana before we leave. So the Velt's question on that's called procrastination. What do you get by that? So we just pushed off our departure for a day. Why are you looking at me like that?
It's that procrastination.
What do you accomplish?
You're not just being lazy, you're doing it positively.
No, I understand, but he says, Kosher Lai Predaschem. That means that Kadosh Baruch Hu has a difficulty, Kaviyachol, to separate himself from Klal Yisrael. So let's have a party today and we'll push it out and we'll leave tomorrow. So we're back in the same place tomorrow.
That's Yom Tov is over, so really you can go. You're free.
Right.
There's no other thing.
We'll make you undo another day. And then when it's over, but did we just answer the question? Did we overcome the difficulty or not?
It's like when the wedding's over.
Yes or no?
Yes.
How did we overcome it?
Because we stayed after the party.
So therefore
it shows that we're connected still.
Who are you trying to prove? Who are you trying to impress that upon?
You're impressing to yourself. It's for yourself.
Connection with Hashem.
So you're warm.
It's for yourself. When you're saying goodbye to someone, you're going to the airport. You'll say goodbye and then you'll look back again and say goodbye again. It's just a way of showing that the separation is hard. You're extending it to show that it's
okay. So Rabbi Kotler says a much deeper thought. and I don't think that your thought would help with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says that sometimes the connection can be so strong that even though you're not together, you're not separated. In other words, I would like to ask you, Alumda Shal Yeshiva Shechakira. All those who haven't heard of Yeshiva Shechakira since the beginning of Bein Hazmanim, we are going to give you a refresher course. Was Rabbi Akiva for 24 years married to Rachel, or was he on leave? In thought. I'm not a halachic question. He became Yeshiva Bacher for 24 years. He was a Avrech, became Yeshiva Bacher, and 24 years later he slipped back into his Avrech shoes, or was an Avrech for the 24 years. Do you get the question? I'm not asking a question.
Was he connected
What
to
did
Rachel
he
in his
consider
heart?
himself?
Yeah.
It says,
Oh, so what does that mean? So that means just because that you're separated doesn't mean you're separated. And not only that, what happened? He came back after 12 years, and he hears his wife's enthusiasm, and he gets caught up in that enthusiasm, and that's what caused him to go back again, right? So he was very married. Was he together with his wife? Did they have a preda? They didn't have a preda. That's what the Baruch Kotler says. When we make that extra suda, it's not showing that the leaving is difficult. It creates the environment that even though you're separated, you didn't leave. You're still there the whole time.
That could have been done yesterday.
No. What? Because this is only for, there's no structure to this. This is only to commune together. On the Yom Tov, there are mitzvahs.
So we made it
There are
into
distractions.
We made it into a structure.
I
We made it
lost.
into simplest Torah. I mean, it's...
Well, the question of Hilchos Torah is really, there's nothing, there's no mitzvah to it. It's just it's a way of expressing again our connection. There's no Hilchos Torah. You know, they finish a Torah every 3 years. They still have Shmini Atzeres. It's not. That's not.
Making a day of goodbye means we're always connected.
Well, that will make the connection stronger. That there'll be less disconnect when you're not together.
Because we said goodbye formally.
No, because you commune together for no other purpose than enjoying the other person's company. No, when you're there together on a business trip, so that doesn't enhance the relationship. That's what Rabban Koller said. So, anyways, that's a fascinating idea. Echshu, the idea of the Moed is to foster such kind of a relationship.
So what if I get a relationship going on a roller coaster as I have fun, and going down I feel closer to that?
You want to know what's
as much as eating and drinking could do it, that could do it too.
First, who says that you're wrong? I think that the halacha says could be that you're right. That it says a person kol echad, whatever makes them happy. That's what the halacha says. Anoshim bebasar yayin, anoshim betakshitim. And if your wife wants a new drill, that'll make her happy. That's wonderful. Okay, she should buy her one. Maybe she'll get something fixed in the house. Yeah, what?
To continue the sentence, kol echad lefi whatever.
That's what it says.
So that I can figure out what makes me happy.
That could be. Now, does that mean that we have to that it releases you from the other things or not? If we learn Hilchos Yom Tov, maybe one day we'll. I was considering starting there, but
even by Yom Tov, say Chetze Shalom, Chetze Shalom.
One second, Parrots. Your question maybe is a good question. The text says what it says. You have a question on the text.
How do we resolve?
What's your question? Why is there a Chatzi Lechem, Chatzi Lashem? And why is it on Shavuos that's Kula Lashem? Kula Lachem. So they have to answer the question is that the Avada has to be some way they're going to bring you to a wholesomeness. Avada, but a person eats, that makes him happy physically, and then your person is supposed to take that and hatek v'hadbek that to avodas Hashem. There's a Rambam which discusses this ba'arichos. Rambam in Hilchos Chanukah, Rambam in Hilchos Sukkos. I don't get involved in it, but it says a person who all he does is eat and drink and be happy by himself, ein zeh elo hilulus, and it's not the simcha that costs b'Torah, and he has all kinds of disparaging remarks to say. But anyways, I will just tell you, as far as you and your roller coaster, to a certain extent, yes, I agree that if it works, that's a good take off to go from there right into the base medrash, and that's what does it for you. Perhaps for most people, that doesn't just bring you into that right direction. It doesn't bring you to where you're supposed to go. But if it does for you, perhaps.
I don't think it'll necessarily bring it, but it's a break. So
it does. It doesn't. That it doesn't say. That it's saying, but that is not what it said. That's exactly the point. It doesn't say that Chol Hamoed to go on vacation. It does. That's not what it says. It says you should do something which will make you feel mu'ushar. Vacation does not make you feel mu'ushar. Vacation recharges your batteries. Mu'ushar means purposeful, happy, content. I don't think, and I don't dislike roller coasters. I don't think that they give you content. Maybe contempt, but not content. It just doesn't do it. Doesn't fill anything. Doesn't fill any void. It just creates a void maybe in your stomach. But actually, that's just an important Mishnah Berurah. So this is the question that the girl asked me, and the answer which I gave her was, you should take whatever it is that moves you and find a way to attach that to Torah and mitzvahs. That's what your job is. That's the point of Chol Hamoed. And if you look at the Chinuch, I think that you will find that this is exactly what the point of the Chol Hamoed is. In other words, I would just like to make a stab at modern society. There are many people who found, and now I am not right now endorsing or not endorsing anything. I'm talking about the concept. Okay, we have over here a roller coaster junkie, which is absolutely okay, right? You know, it's all different kinds of people, different kinds. That's fine. When I say that's fine, I say that we understand that it is. There are people who find for Chol Hamoed, they find kosher movies to watch. Now I don't know what kosher movies are, and I'm not right now discussing the subject of kosher movies. I'm just asking you, is that going to bring you to this intended result? That's all. Now, once we have clear the purpose of what Chol Hamoed is to do, so that you want to know something, you say matim or lo matim. So you have to know, is it going to bring you to the effect of what Chol Hamoed is supposed to bring you to? And not working is not there, so you should go to great adventures. That's not the tachlis. The tachlis is that a person should do things which are wholesome and make him feel vibrant in his avodas Hashem. Okay. Anyways, that was just.
I would go to the Sudas for sure on the second day of the Yom Tov. They don't make you vibrant and ready to serve Hashem. They make you sleep.
Why didn't you say on the first day?
The first day, okay, you have some appetite for things.
I want to tell you something. I'm not right now going to get involved in Hilchos Yom Tov and all of its nikudot, but perhaps you should eat something that will make you mechubad, connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No, there are many people that on Shavuos, I'll just tell you, this is my personal opinion. There's no halacha or ashkafa. It's just my personal opinion. I believe that 25 to 40% of the people who eat milchiks on Shavuos, it's because they feel they can chaperine and have a Yom Tov meal that's milchiks. It has nothing to do with milchiks. It's just a breaking out of the monotony of having to eat fleishiks. Which is fine. I'm not right now discussing whether you should, but I believe that there is a Yetzer Hara like that. But a person now, I will just tell you something. A person is supposed to eat on Yom Tov We read that Mishnah Berurah was last week, right? So you have to eat. You'll have to eat your Cheerios with a linen napkin.
I'm saying that, but that's the milchiks. Instead of saying, "Oh no, chicken again."
So if you want, we can teach your wife some new recipes.
My wife has.
No, that wasn't. I think, yeah. So sometimes you have to improvise. You have to sometimes be
That's the milchiks.
artistic. Fine, could be. Okay.
There's a difference as well, isn't there, between how one's supposed to spend Chol Hamoed Sukkos and Chol Hamoed Pesach. According to one of my favourite cheaters in Shas, the cheater Rabbi Avrohom, what he says about Sukkos.
What does he say about Sukkos?
I find it really attractive to his cheater. Lo lishma balishma. He says he praises the lazy people on Sukkos.
Yeah, that they stay in the sukkah.
So it's nice to get praise from Rabbi Avrohom. I want to make a heckish between Sukkos and Pesach, as far as I'm concerned, as well.
I'm totally lost. What do you want to know? He was saying stay in your sukkah.
He says you get praise for doing that. I say that's a sheet that
I want to tell you something. Listen, I don't want to insult you, but I would like to set the record straight. Okay? There's this Russian fellow who lives in Yaakov. I said this over the story once, and he was speaking to one of the Avrochim during Seisimei Tshuva, and it was getting close to Yom Kippur, and he saw something's going on. So he asked what's going on, and they told him that it's Yom Kippur, and it's the Mechila Sicha Kapara, and you're not allowed to eat, and you know, he says, well, maybe I'll fast on Yom Kippur. And after Yom Kippur, he went over to this Avrech, and he said, I did it, I fasted the whole Yom Kippur. So I asked him, how do you do it? He said, on Erev Yom Kippur, I drank a fifth of vodka, and I slept for 26 hours. It's a true story. One second. Is he praiseworthy? Is he praiseworthy?
Depends where he's coming from.
What?
Depends if he's going up or down.
One second. So this is what Chazal meant to fast on Yom Kippur?
He was Mekayim at the rice.
Suffolk. A shikr is Mekayim a mitzvah, right? I'm not sure he was Mekayim anything. Anyway, he didn't eat on Yom Kippur, right? Right? Then it's whether he wasn't over on any lavim, right? But now, is he praiseworthy for his desire? Right? A person should be lazy and stay in his sukkah means that he's not going to go where he would rather be. But a person who wants to be lazy and he stays in his bed and he takes 7/5 and he sleeps the whole sukkah through, there.
The way I look at it, if you need to travel somewhere on public transport, you can spend 1.5 hours getting out of Beit Shemesh. What kind of pleasure is that? It's much more better alternative to just stay and sit in your sukkah.
I would like to. Let me just ask you a question, and I don't want to learn Hilchos Sukkos right now, but I'm going to ask you another yeshivish question. What's better to do, a mitzvah d'oraisa or a mitzvah d'rabbanan? I would too. So now, when you're going to ask me, Rabbi Zachariash, I took out my calculator, my computer, and all those fancy mathematical devices, and I realized to go to shul, to daven tefillah b'tzibur is a mitzvah d'rabbanan, and to stay in my sukkah is a mitzvah d'oraisa. Perhaps I should stay at home and be mekayim a mitzvah d'oraisa. And be lazy. It's extra perk.
So having a halachas some discussion whether it's better to daven on certain sukkahs in your sukkah.
It's called the Beis Yosef.
Ah.
The Beis Yosef discusses it. The Mechaber and Shulchan Aruch. Yeah. Okay. No, but therefore what?
So, let's say a person wants to get up, and say the minyan here on sukkahs is at 7 o'clock. and the person wants to daven nates, I would think it wouldn't be a case of saying, get up at nates, daven nates in your sukkah, rather than come to the minyan of the shul.
Okay. Perhaps. I don't know. In other words, I don't know. Skip the nates altogether. Why don't you just say daven in your sukkah and be Mekayim mitzvah d'oraisa of yeshiva sukkah?
I'm sitting and learning a base medrash. That's a d'oraisa. So I should go to daven.
So there's an answer. No, that there's an answer. No, that the Gemara. Yeah, the Gemara answers that question though. But the answer to the question is, a person's doing something. That Rebbe Lozer is telling you a gimmick in order to get you to do what you're supposed to be doing. So he's not saying that he's really praising people that are lazy. That's the bottom line. All right. Now let's start over here, Hilchos Giluach, and I think that we're starting off in a fascinating place. Giluach, I have a fascinating question on this halacha. If I were the one to write the Gemara, from the few changes that I would make, is I would not call this Isser of Giluach, I would call it the Isser of Tisporis. Because in the times of Chazal, which men shaved? The time of? What'd I say? Was Yosef, am I missing something? Was he the time of Chazal? If I'm not mistaken, you're out by 1,000 years. But in golf, it would be below par. Anyways, so why is it called Giluach? I'm not really sure, just a ha'ara. There's a razor to cut their hair? I don't think so. All right, we'll see. Mitzvah first. Mitzvah legaleach be'erev Yom Tov. Why? Says the Mishnah Berurah. Kedei shelo yikones l'regel kishehu menovel. Now, how much more before Yom Tov can one be mekayim this halacha? If I take a haircut 3 days before Yom Tov, am I mekayim the mitzvah of the galech be'erev Yom Tov, or am I just not nichnas the Yom Tov kishehu menovel?
Ask your wife.
She's busy cooking.
She'll say if it's
No, she's not going to answer this question. I asked a question that's not for her.
No, she'll say, well, if you're being nichas menuvel, she'll say.
I didn't ask that question. I said a person took a haircut 4 days before Yom Tov. He doesn't have to ask his wife if he's a menuvel or not. He's not. Was he makayim the mitzvah of legaleach be'erev Yom Tov? In other words, is the whole mitzvah I have to make sure that when the Yom Tov comes I look trimmed? Or is there a mitzvah to be legaleach on erev Yom Tov? 1 second. Do I have a right to ask this question, or am I drawing a cup? It should say, Osur likones l'Yom Tov kishehu menovel. That's not what it says. It says mitzvah legaleach.
Maybe it's talking about people who did.
Let's take a maybe. Let's take a, before maybe. First, yeah, accept. Is this a question or not a question? You don't know. What do you say? It sounds like okay. So it's a chanol Yom Tov. It says a machay of that. All right. Now we'll soon see. We're going to discuss the. I would like to see the Sharet Tzion over here. This is fascinating nakuda. Says the Sharet Tzion, "Ve'esher dim gilach b'sach shloshim yom lo shayich zeh." Why? Because he's not a menuvel, right? The nivel hu yosem b'shloshim yom. V'leidam min yosenu she'enu min galgaleach rak b'misparayim. Im kein afilo achar shesiper atzmo nisha olav matzeir. Memela afilo im yisha achar zeh pochos b'shloshim yom yisrablo v'aser yosem b'shloshim yom jinafonov. Shahaya oz achar giluach. Okay, so this is a question: how do we cheshbon it out? But it seems that there's a mitzvah and the two sides of the coin. That's what he seems to learn, right? Not like what? That's the chorah. That's what he's saying. All right. Says the next one.
Would this also apply in the Rose example of 4 days? 4 days, l'chayra, you're pretty good.
I think so. Now, says the next Sharet Zion. D'lechatchila yigalech kodem k'tzaris. V'tzion al zeh mima shekasav Mogen Avrohom. שלא יגלח אחר מנחה, והיינו אחר שהגיע זמן מנחה. ורצנו לא אמר מנחה גדולה בערב Shabbos, you should לכתחילה take your haircut on Erev Yom Tov before חצות, לכל הפוחס מנחה גדולה. והיינו אחר שהגיע זמן, okay. והוא הדין בערב Yom Tov.
Is that the reason because it feels mincha?
Yeah, but we'll soon see in a minute. ולפי מה שכתוב לשון בשם האחרון דנוחה לסמוך הדס הפועס כנדה מנחה מנחה קטנה, and you're allowed to take your haircut until מנחה קטנה, near the Erev Yom Tov, כשהזמן דוחק, אפילו לכתחילה יכול לסמוך על זה. On Erev Yom Tov, you could for sure be saimech on the Mekel Shita. V'chol zanayin lechatchila. Aval inyan, this is the part that's fascinating. Aval inyan b'diavad, that a person didn't take a haircut until already it's after Mincha Ketana. Halo yadua das harama b'seif hasiman shemistapin kol hayom. They're allowed to take a haircut on Erev Yom Tov for a whole day. V'af agrav shemafachlik al zeh le'inyan Yom Tov k'dei shekaras regel shu menovel ein lahachmer. The Aveira of coming into the Yom Tov Menovel is so strong that we go and we're Saimech on a Das Yochid. According to Beit Yaakov Pesach, it's not like that. That's another machlekes.
Is it relevant if someone did early mincha?
No shaykhs. I mean, it's a good question, but the answer is no.
You mean it doesn't change it?
Doesn't change it.
Is this talking about giving yourself a haircut as well? If you give your own self your haircut, or this is talking about going to somebody for paying for it?
No, in Shum, I don't think there's enough Gemina.
And nowadays the problem with haircuts is not relevant. It's not going to go looking out all day to find a knife or something.
If your scissors breaks.
It's just breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens if the electric machine breaks? Or the scissors breaks, what happens?
Yeah. Barbers go on, they have other machines.
I want to think that they didn't the other times. I have no idea what I don't know what was going on at that time. Ein megalchim hamoed, afilam gilach koydem hamoed. Now, I just want to share something with you. First, let's just maybe I'll share with that. We'll read it inside first. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Vuadin Siporosh, taking a haircut. El Shadar Kamoy Legaleach. Vach the Sipor Vigilu Achudavar Shal Yipoy Vitikon Haguf Shul Tzarech HaMoed, and therefore it should be mutter. Afilo Ochi also B'Tzarech HaMoed. Why? Kedei Sheyizdorez Legaleach Koydem HaMoed. It's so important that we assert something which should be mutter to take a haircut. Because if we would do that, and therefore we forbade them. Now I would like to say over tshuva from B'Shem Moshe Feinstein and a personal issue that I have I'd like to vent over here and then possibly bring to some halachic conclusion. There's brought down B'Shem Reb Moshe that someone asked him, his wife noticed some white hairs in her head. Is she allowed to cut them off on Chol Hamoed? And Rav Moshe, he has 3 parts to the tshuva. He takes this like very seriously, the question. And Mustami got some gray hairs over the issue himself. And he says first that Vada, if she would have seen it before the Moed, she would have taken it off before the Moed. So this is a reason to assume that this isn't included. And then he says, and you can't say this is an individual heter for her, because all ladies that as soon as they find the gray hair, they would take it off. So they wouldn't say this is a klal kol sikrukin asurim chutz misikruke baitus, that there's a special kula given for her. Anybody will be in this situation. He has like a whole long tshuva in order to explain why this should be mutter, but included in this is a fascinating halacha, which the Mishnah Berurah and the Pri Megadim also say, that women too are forbidden to take haircuts on Chol Hamoed. Now, I would just say I personally have an issue, not a halachic issue, a lack of understanding issue. I'm not really sure I understand when women need to take haircuts. I haven't really figured out the lumdus of when it is that they need one, they don't need one. I don't know exactly the mechanism that follows, but it seems that there's such a concept by women also.
This is a single lady.
Or she's technically, halachically, a lady who's married in her own house, she could have her hair exposed, up the halacha. I didn't say that I advise that, but if you want to know what the halacha is, that's the halacha. It causes many problems to live like that, but that is the halacha.
Does this include shaving all parts?
I didn't hear you.
Does this include shaving all parts of the body?
No. We're going to learn. You have to wait till we get there. It's got 5 simonim.
Would include women.
Oh, so now I'd just like to say, let's get to this Nakuda. I get asked this question many times on Chol Hamoed about women that have not removed hair from places which are permissible on Chol Hamoed, if they're allowed to do so. They're not aware of the halacha. And I scream at them, that's usually what I do. And I say to them, why can't you wait till after Yom Tov? So they say, no, it's so terrible. I said, so why didn't you do it before Yom Tov? Something's missing.
Gross.
So I would take care of all these things I've already taken care of many times. I asked them, how often do you do this? How often do you do this? So if there are people that do it every... What? There's something to do every shower. There's something to do it. They do it once every 2 weeks. Once every day. So why are you not doing this before the Yom Tov? So even though there's definitely many who do it much more often, and therefore the halacha allows them to be mekel. The word mekel is the wrong word. The halacha permits these tzarchei haguf to be done on Chol Hamoed. It's not a kula. It's muter l'chatchila, but that doesn't take away the taina on the person that also kanasu the moikishu v'novel. No, it's they happen to fall between the cracks. Technically, can't answer them. But eichit tachen. I've had this question asked by the same lady every yontif. You understand? Like you don't think I can remember. She obviously doesn't remember what I told her the last time. Otherwise, she wouldn't call back.
Isn't it similar to men who shave every day? They can shave on Chol Hamoed.
No. Why is it not similar? The night you discusses your question. But why not similar? Because the classic man had a beard. The classic lady would remove hair continuously. No, it's not.
Classic, meaning before they had shavers.
Yeah, but mechazal. Yeah. So the Nadi Yehuda is make on Chol Hamoed in certain situations. Maybe we'll touch on his tshuva, but not this week. A different time. All right. So now let's see the Sharetziyans over here. One second. Did you see it already? No. From base. We're up to Gimel. Okay. Now, this is very important. This which is aser even if a person had an einus, and the only things which are permissible are things which were an einus that everybody understands the reason why this guy is shaving. In other words, I'll use this as an example. I have a privilege that many people don't have many times. And during Sfira, I can shave when I have a bris. I rarely do that. You know why? Because you walk in and everybody says, "What's with you?"
They don't do that when they skip top.
What? But it's not the same people always, right? It's not the same people. So people, it's uncomfortable. Not that it's uncomfortable. Today, I happened to daven mincha in a shul, which I don't think anybody there in the shul knew who I am. And I had a bris this morning, and everybody's saying tachnu. Everyone's looking at me. How come you guys not saying tachnu? So it crossed my mind that there's a halacha of what's it called? Lesis Gaidu, doing differently than everybody else. Here, there's no problem of Lesis Gaidu because they also, in this situation, will do the same thing. But there is a halacha, or it's a tesefta, shalolam ye'oim ben hayeshim yeshim ben oimdim. So you sit down after they announce it. They shouldn't do things which are matmiya to people. Anyways, yeah, it could be Yisrael Nikiyim. I don't know if it's Nikiyim or not Nikiyim. No, that's
in old days, they used to like carry the knife in the pocket so people knew who they were.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds dangerous to me, but okay. All right. Says the Mechaber. I feel okay. So, anyways, any oinus that a person has that's going to allow him, it has to be an oinus which is everybody knows. You know, it made it into the newspaper. I feel him hoya onus umpnei kach lo gilach be'erev Yom Tov. Eno magalech b'moed, even if you're an oinus. If the person became well on Chol Hamoed and he wasn't able to shave beforehand, take a haircut beforehand, it's not a reason. And the Mishnah Berurah is going to say this reason why. I feel like oinus kigoyin shenever lo aveda be'erev haregel or umam lo yochol legaleach. Chai gavna shari, I don't know, it's in Levad, Muvurim, Heter, see from after. Bahani oinsim, mifursamim v'gluyim. Those which are mutter are ones which everybody knows that the guy came from over the country or whatever. Hakol shi yesh lo galech koidem. Al shari oinsim, einam mifursamim v'yaduim. They aren't well known. V'imnater lahem, yavol ahater af shaloi b'toich oines. So I just would like to stop off and just mention this is a fascinatingly chomer dika halacha. Ve'etzem shaving should be mutter on Chol Hamoed. We answered shaving on Chol Hamoed because you're not going to shave on you're not going to answer it. They're not going to shave before the Moed. And even a guy who's an oinus, we're afraid if we're going to be makel on him, then other people will come to be makel, and therefore we answered. It's a very, very chomer dika halacha. All right. Good night.